Mass migration in Victoria 3 is currently broken. Somebody will see that there's free land in the United States of America, be told that they will be beaten and beaten and beaten, and decide, I should move there. Today I will build a hellscape and make sure that the entire world comes over and enjoys living here. Check out how it works and, well, enjoy the video. And folks, that leaves us right here. Only in this patch can we build the worst possible America out there, and only in this patch shall we do it. I found this bug to exist and I thought to myself, hey, what would be the funniest application? And that brings us here. But you know what? Why don't we talk about the bug in its own right in the first place? Migration works a little bit differently now. Mass migration between countries in Victoria 3 is still between markets, so for example from the British market into the American market, but before that it was hard limited because discrimination was binary. This meant that if you were discriminated you wouldn't migrate, and if you were not discriminated then you would migrate, or at least it was viable. In the current version, it all follows a scale. It is much more interesting, obviously, because, well, you start with violent hostility, cultural erasure, open prejudice, second-class citizen, and ultimately full acceptance. Now, there is something here, though, that isn't working right. Currently, even if somebody is discriminated in every sense of the word, their culture, their religion, none of it is respected, they will still migrate. That means that we can theoretically build a complete hellscape in which all migrants that arrive are mistreated to the maximum degree, and yet they keep on coming. Today, we are going to build the bizarre United States of America, where we mistreat everyone in every way possible, and they still love being here. Now, for starters, you gotta be aware about one thing. Obviously, migration still primarily works by two things. A, and that is this right here, you need to have a trade route with the market in which this culture that wants to migrate is migrating from. That means, for example, if the Irish want to migrate, I need to have a trade route to even be eligible to actually receive their migration with the British. Now, beyond that, obviously, the decision of any eligible culture comes from the fact that you have land that they like, land that they can look at and say, wow, there's a lot of migration attraction right there. This is largely driven by two things that you can influence here. A, the decree that you place. If you take a look at this right here, you see the greener grass campaign that makes it so that people love wherever you place it and really want to go there. The other element, and this is really important and is why the US are such a great case here for this, is arable land. The emptier this bar is right here and the longer that bar is, so the more open slots you have, the better will it be. This means people will go here en masse because this is such a massive factor. So you want low subsistence farm employment, and ideally you could, for example, build this up, I don't know, you put down a lot of industry, but we're gonna do none of this. I'm going to be very hands-off. I have two goals in this, and that is become the historical borders of the United States of America, and then go out and about and make the world as bad as it can be, because then people will migrate to us. Internally, I will do nothing. Obviously, I will change my laws to be oppressive as possible, but I'm not building any economy. What we will be building are, for example, 10 universities. I want to make sure that we can research relatively quickly, including, there you go, actually making it so that we have a good PM right there. Beyond that, from me, you will only see administration buildings. I will not, neither in the US nor anywhere else, build any buildings. I don't even care whether capitalists are doing it. It just doesn't matter. You're going to see the power of pure manpower. Alright, now for starters, we need nationalism. This allows us to then do manifest destiny, which is super important. And immediately after, I would like quinine, because then I can actually go ahead and do the Oregon Trail, which is of course vital to get this territory. Let me take a look at this. We're going to settle Oklahoma. There you go. Now, the important thing that you need to realize is that Mexico is actually in a position where they virtually always get protected by Russia. They just chime in and say, hey, Mexico is now guaranteed independence by us. We're going to counter this by going to the British and say, hey, Britain, I would like to bankroll you. I would like to grant you investment rights. I want to make sure that you will protect me. Because we want those Mexican lands as soon as possible, and Britain is an amazing ally for it, so why not? Now, looking at the politics of our country, I can immediately tell you we will lean heavily onto the Democratic Party. Obviously, we need to balance this. They have reworked this entire thing, right? Political movements are different now. They're not just for one law, they are for a variety of laws, a particular circumstance of society, really. Pro-slavery movement and abolitionist movement are ones that we really need to equalize. I don't want either of them to rebel. I want them to be quiet and leave me to my things, right? You know how it is. This means that I will be passing a couple of laws that one side likes and then a couple of laws that the other side likes. Most importantly, don't raise taxes too much, because then a lot of people will be angry, and the main driving force in movements at this point is whether there are a lot of radicals in a movement. Anyway, for starters, we are going to go ahead with the freedom-loving law of secret police. It is so, so good, and it should hopefully make it so that I can just tell them to shut up. I really don't want them to rebel against me, and that law is perfect for that. Now, other than that, let's see here. I don't want any education. We don't care for assimilation or education access. And I want law enforcement. That's definitely what we're going to be doing here. Now, for the time being as well, I'm going to go ahead and place greener grass campaign decrease right here, all the way up to Tennessee and Illinois. We're going to mark all of these states. They already are integrated, I think. Let me verify that. Oh, they're not all incorporated. We're going to incorporate everything here, and once they are eligible for mass migrations and will have a really good rating. Now, to actually get them though, like I said, you will want to have as many people in your radius that you can talk to, that you can impact to, and so on, and then trade with them. In this case, I'm going to send you tobacco, and if you receive tobacco, know that that means that I will empty out your country and put it just into mine. Again, like I said, the profitability and the size of the trade route does not matter, just the fact that you have one makes you eligible. That is why we're trading with the entire world. The elections are incredibly close. Jesus Christ. I really need to do everything I can to destroy the Whig Party. Stop being that good. That's crazy. I need a decisive victory here for the Conservatives, at least in the first couple of years. After that, we can talk about being a bit more liberal in everything but citizenship and religion, you know how it is. Now, this is something that is interesting. This happens virtually, well, maybe like once every year, so whenever you get migrations, it is basically somebody saying, hey, we just arrived, we're different, yada, 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 and you can say, hey, you know what, plus 20 acceptance makes it easier for them to get qualifications, to integrate, yada. No, we're not doing this. I'm sorry. That's not happening. None of that stuff. Let me take a look at migration right here. We already got our first migrations. Yep, Buryat people, British English in Ontario, Russian Circassian down there. Things are looking good. The first migrants are already arriving. Now at this point, they think they're gonna be accepted and such. Yeah, again, they're gonna be wrong about that. Again, always keep an eye out if you can have some more trade routes. You don't need to be interactive with any of this, but if they have people that want to migrate, chances are you're going to go and pick up at least 1 or 2 mass migrations per trade route. Central American mass migration, I mean, they are unhappy, don't get me wrong here. They hate life down there. I hear they're gonna dissolve their country in just about 2 seconds. And I see we're losing some money here now. I think it's still gonna be fine. You want to keep taxes low so that nobody gets agitated. You know, for this plan to work, you need to kind of coddle them initially. Now, how are the Brits doing? The Brits, they love me. They love me. I will immediately, and I think we might not be able to even do this. I'm going to use the obligation because I gained this from bankrolling them, and all of a sudden, boom, we got an alliance. Once we unlock the ability to go to war with Mexico, we will do it immediately. Now, let me ask you, yeah, look at that. Russia is already guaranteeing independence. Good thing the Brits are on our side, eh? Yeah, that is going on. Well, they're gonna have a lot of people that are also there with them in the misery that they live in. And look at that, Bulgarian mass migration, because we set up the trade route with the Ottomans. You love to see it. Serbian mass migration. There's a lot of mass migrations coming from the Ottomans here. And we're gonna go ahead and click this button. We got nationalism now. We're gonna go for Manifest Destiny. Gonna give us all of these claims. And I think we might, like, immediately go in against Mexico here. Let's take a look at this. Yep, the British will join in. The Russians join on the Mexican side. I think we can handle it. Right, let me see here. I am going to go ahead and get a good chunk, a massive chunk of conscripts. I want a big army. Somebody needs a big army. We're going to raise all of them. And then I'm going to promote you like 1,000,000 times. Edmund P. Gaines. He is going to be our figurehead here in this particular war. And of course, don't forget, you gotta add every single state manually. I wish we could just click the map, you know, that would be tremendous. Really good. There we are. Okay. Now, we could do war reparations. I could probably go ahead and once Russia is in, also actually say, you know, how about Alaska? I might do that. I guess I would have to transfer the Russian-American company, which will be very funny because it will be the American-Russian-American company. You know what? Now I gotta do it. Give me the Russian-American company. It's very cheap. 2.2. Sure, I'll take it. Getting more Greek mass migration. You love to see it. Oh, they want me to rival Austria? I guess. Gives me some much needed actual diplomacy points here, making it so that the infamy, of course, ticks down faster as well. It's convenient. I'll give him that. Oh, and apparently they joined... How did Colombia join that war? They weren't in the war initially. I swear they were not in the war initially. Anyway, we're winning. It's costing me a lot of money, but not too much. I think we're okay. I would like it if the Brits did come to my aid, though. That would be pretty good, huh? I'm going to turn around and just defend for the time being. We are not in a good state, but they are advancing over there. And hopefully soon-ish over there as well. It is relatively convenient, right? They were just fighting in the Great Qing, and now they are immediately bringing a couple of troops over as well. That's nice. I like that, yeah, sure. I think we're winning this. Secret police, on the other hand, is down to 1%. I mean, what the hell, man? Secret police just passed on 1%? Are you insane? How can that be? Immediately, change this. I need the higher thing here because I am going to pump everything I got into secret police. The goal here is that I can then pass a bunch of really nice laws without the abolitionists getting angry. Let's take a look at this. We are at secret police. We are at... oh, right, we are still at local police force. We're going to reform this away because this is going to make the intelligentsia happy, and then I can roll back some other stuff. And all of a sudden you will find yourself in a hellscape. Oh, what the hell? Where are these Mexicans coming from? What is this? You can't do that. That's not good, huh? Let me ask you, by the way, are the Russians going to be able to be capitulated with this? Yes, okay. Since we have Alaska, I can just get it for free. And there goes Mexico. Very nice. You absolutely adore to see it. And now it's just you, huh? Oh, and you're so close to giving it away because it doesn't mean anything to you. It actually says American company. That is really good. That might be one of the funniest things they've done in this game. American company. Come on now. What the hell is that? That's very... Alright, anyway, Wars 1. That is very funny. I gotta establish all of these colonies. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. And I think I can already incorporate Florida without any issues. Beautiful. Let's keep colonizing. Let's make sure that we get this done. And once we're done there, I can also roll back that, of course. You know, the actual mechanic behind that there. We are now in a good state, if only I wasn't losing that much money. That's not good. But I think I can now raise taxes solely because we are in a position where we have passed secret police and we are upgrading it steadily. We should be able to keep down the abolitionists. I think it's viable. If only we could, you know, actually pass anything speedily in this country. All right, how are the elections looking here? Ooh, too close. I gotta make sure that the Democratic Party wins this one. Sorry. Evil timeline. You get it. And that was a pretty good victory right here. Now see, what we're going to do is we're going to split this wing right here by passing state religion after we have this law. I really kind of want to look towards landed voting as well, but... Actually, you know what? We might do landed voting first. I like the idea that before the next election we already take away their power, then the election comes and they're completely cooked, because it's going to be pure landowner. Oh, and look at that Occitan mass migration. Thank God. You fellas found to America. We already have 70, 80,000, 97,000. It's just Breton mass migration. We have 53,000. Listen, this is the power of hating everybody and everybody being like, yep, I need to go to America. God bless America. Tell you that much. Oh, and there's quinine. What we're going to do next is just research whatever social tech we got. Don't really care about the details there, but I do care about mapping the American Western frontier. I know the person for the job. Zachary Taylor, why not? You can do it. I hope that we can do this Oregon Treaty relatively quickly. That would be amazing. Oh, and there's dedicated police force. Thank God. So this takes away power from the landowners. It makes the non-landowners a little bit happier, and then makes it so that we can surely push through landed voting. Let me see. The intelligentsia go down to 0. That is, they are basically still happy. Please pass landed voting. Let's get it done. How are we doing? Abolitionist movement? Yeah, no, look at this. Look at this. It's insane. It's just insane. Minus 30%. They would be at 45% right now, if not for that. This is also why I said keep down the taxes at least initially so that the radicals don't rise up too dramatically. I think we're already golden here. We will be successful. The hard part was like the start of this campaign. We're getting to the successful part. Oh, English mass migration to Illinois. Very, very nice. Dude, it's insane. Oh, and here's John Brown. I love John Brown, but not in this campaign. What we're gonna do is immediately turn around and say, John Brown, you should go elsewhere. Why don't you just have a good time in a different country? Figure it out. And that is Home Affairs at level 4. That is... It feels so good, quite frankly. We have to build more of it. I can already tell that we need more government administration, but I think for the time being, this is incredible. Incredible stuff. And of course, we can again roll this back, right, when the time comes. But you have to realize, with how much migration we will be getting, this investment level, so like the cost per level, will go up like crazy. So, you know, let's just be aware of this and kind of build up our admin capacity already. Oh, and we immediately, first try, got the Oregon Trail. That's amazing. Okay. The Brits are having a bit of a revolt, huh? I'm gonna ignore this. No, okay, India's still looking good. I don't know why the Brits are having trouble here. I'm just gonna hope that they don't call me, and let's ignore that. Let's not bother. Oh, and you know what? I completely forgot. I didn't even found a power block. I think it kind of does actually matter. I was about to say, I don't think it matters, but now I'm like, if we create a trade league, and then does the freedom of movement stuff actually help us here? Maybe. What is it called? Glorious Union? I already did that literally today. Wall Street Pact. Singapore Pact? Okay, it's done. Mwah, that's amazing. It is done. Okay, this sets us up very, very nicely. We are going to commit censorship because the church also likes this. Let's get going. Yeah, just take that in. The Democratic Party is going to get the petite bourgeoisie if I reform, which is awesome. I'm going to keep the armed forces, though, where they are currently. Way more important, take a look at this election, right? 85% for the Democratic Party, that's insane. Once we pass censorship, we really, really are in a good space. I am now also suppressing, actually, the abolitionists, and yeah, look at that. That is insane. We, of course, are getting a massive, massive bonus on the suppression if I could click it, which I can't, but yeah. Their cause is over. Let's be real here. Let's quickly find out as well whether there's any trade agreement. If there is, that makes the trade for me a lot cheaper here. I'm trading with everybody again to get all the migration. We're already up to 23 million, and this is just the start, but I would prefer if we if we didn't spend this much bureaucracy on this. And that's censorship. Beautiful. What can we immediately pass? Let me just check this out, right? This is only the evangelicals, so we can't do that. I could do national supremacy, but I think it is slightly too early for this. There's one more thing that I really want to do. Slave trade. Let's get going. Oh, and yeah, look at that. Britain actually maintained almost all of India right here. Karnataka is the only one. That's fine. Makes it easier for us. As long as we are trading with the British, we are, of course, looking at a situation where all of India can migrate to us. Kind of the goal here, right? And see, you really need to take this in now. The abolitionist movement right now is the angriest it could be, because we're looking at slave trade. Yes, I have not really agitated too many people that are a member of this, sure, but look at this. Agitating 43%, they would be at 83%, which is so close that they will eventually riot and then rebel, but they can't do it because I have secret police. That is the sole reason. It is so, so powerful. It's actually crazy. What do they want? Migration controls? Nope. I would rather you hate me and like leave the coalition or whatever. That is the opposite of what we are doing, buddy. Migration controls is the only thing that can stop people from migrating to your country en masse. We're not doing that. I need everybody that I can get. And there's slave trade. This is all going very quickly. You basically just have to realize that with the strategy that we're doing, sooner rather than later, we will have an incredible amount of turmoil just because of how suppressed everybody is. Right, so in that context, I hope you understand why I am being as cruel and as terrible as I am. It is sadly required. Even the Albanians cannot escape my wrath. Now anyway, let me take a look at this, right? We could go for agrarianism. I just don't really care for it. I don't think that is that important. Maybe it is time finally to reform the government. That is a high... Okay, that's a good government right there. Maybe it is time, actually, to go for national supremacy right here. The only ones that really could then rebel are the Afro-Americans because they have homelands here, and I guess the Native Americans, but that is a secondary topic, and we could easily, of course, always defeat it. Yeah, okay, you know what? It's time. National supremacy, here we come. Does that agitate anybody too much? Nope, not at all. Okay. The abolitionist movement is basically done. 3%. People have forgotten about the cause. We win. You gotta ask the question, why didn't they do this historically? It seems so easy. Why didn't the slavers just win? I don't know. Just doesn't make sense. The positive, of course, if we pass this, is that we also get more authority, right? So that is a big, big chunk of why we're doing this. It's just going to put us into a better condition all around. And we just gotta keep colonizing this stuff, and sooner rather than later I can roll back our institution for colonization. Frankly, I might just get rid of it. I don't think it matters for this playthrough, like, at all. Poor Ottomans. I hope there's a ton of devastation here. Oh, look at the starving population, the turmoil. Beautiful. This will make it so that more and more people will migrate to us. Oh, and we got another election. What are we looking at? 83%. All right. I really just wish that the evangelicals were to dip. They're still led by an abolitionist. Oh, but wait a minute. The abolitionist movement is gone. They're actually done. They've been eviscerated. We have eliminated them. Whew, okay. What we're going to do now is, yeah, how likely are you to get a different leader? You're no longer influenced by the abolitionist movement, right? So you should be golden here. Let's take a look at this. We want a theocrat. That's nice. Would be cool. Yeah, sure. That's the traditionalist movement. I don't want a democrat. 100% do not want one. Traditionalist is fine. That is just inherent to the group. Okay, so just don't give me a democrat. 24% chance. That's too much. Let's see here. Does anybody want to switch over? Nope. Ugh, come on. The moment they lose abolitionist, they're good to go. I wish this guy were to disappear. And that was crazy fast. We now have national supremacy. And you will see this in action in just a second. Currently, look at that. Everybody here is eligible to go up one more layer. Yeah, as more people arrive, that number isn't going to be that high. People are not actually going to make it. Look at that. Only 232,000 are eligible to go past level 3 open prejudice out of 3.82 million. Not just that, but obviously, these numbers are only going to get worse for the people that are a part of this nation. I think it's something that happens gradually, right? Yeah, currently it goes up because we do get a lot of European migration, I guess. Once we change the religious law, I think that ship will have sailed entirely. Oh, and they got a theocrat. Wait a minute. It happened. I wish, my God, please come into the Democratic Party or join no party. I need you in government so that we can do this. In 4 years' time, we can pass state religion. Theoretically, we could pass monarchy, I guess, but who cares? And you know what? I'm annoyed by this chartered company. I'm going to give you... There it is. Colonial resettlement exploitation. I don't really care. I don't think it matters. I need them to colonize the land over there. Alaska has to turn American in the American company. Oh, you're calling me in against the Maldives? What the hell are you doing? Oh, France is in this. No. Just like give up or something. Really don't want to fight this war. Oh, there we go. Oof. Lucky. Nope. North Germans also not accepted. Sorry. You know, you don't fit in, buddy. Yeah, look at that. The number is only getting worse. 15.97%. Remember that number. That is, now we're at 16.01%. Not gonna get any better. Only gonna get worse. And there you go, the Mexican cession, now that we have actually colonized all of this, is finished turning this stuff into homeland, which means I can very, very quickly actually convert it or incorporate it. Sorry. The big question for me now is, I don't even have what it takes to do that. I'm still going to initiate it. Maybe even everywhere. Entirely because I need to incorporate it. There's no way around it. We need this incorporated so that it is eligible for mass migrations. The more eligible territory we have, the faster will we have mass migrations. Makes perfect sense, right? You look at that, we're already falling behind on taxation capacity. That's not good at all. That is very bad. I think, oh, it's so tough. I think we're at a point where I want to start dialing this down. Right, and now I'm going to decrease you to be a colony. That's fine. Are you already colonizing stuff? Did you not pass this? You're so bad. Wait, what? You already have it, but you're not colonizing. Riddle me this. It just doesn't make sense. Okay. I'll have to annex them sooner rather than later. Oh, I just didn't see it. They are colonizing. Right, I think you have to check here. There you go. Oh my God, it is so fast. What the hell? Oh, it multiplies now with how many provinces there are there? I didn't know that. Alright, settle all of Alaska. Let's do it. Oh, they're only getting 94% of the vote? Ah, devastating. That is terrible to hear. It is actually interesting because it becomes better and stronger every time somebody migrates here. And I don't even think anybody has really migrated here. But this, of course, is owned, right? Partially by the people that actually work there, but then also by manor houses, which creates, you guessed it, more landowners. You love to see it. That is a gorgeous, gorgeous thing. Why would I press this button? I am the one holding it. I'm not pressing that button. Don't press that button, okay? Why would I say yes, I will now buy Alaska from me? Wait, who the hell is this? Alaska? Who's Alyaska? What? Is that the Russian name? Do they think they're Russian? That is pretty good. I'm gonna appoint a governor of my own. Yeah. Send in an American. Still Alyaska. I don't think that's the name. Sterling, rename it. And look at that. The evangelicals have joined us. I already passed what we needed the petite bourgeoisie for. And now it is time for state religion. Thank you. We are going to get more authority, more discrimination. Things are only getting worse from here on out. Oh, and apparently Prussia is having a bit of a revolution. Nothing. Huh? Southern Serbia? Oh my god, are you just completely cut off here as well? Yes, you are! Oh, that's so good. I have to send you tobacco. I can't do it. We have no way of reaching this market, right? Because the capital is cut off. That's so funny. Alright, you are destined for greatness, by which I mean horror. You will have a horrible period. Anyway, we get... There you go. We get the beautiful territory right there. We're gonna finish settling it. And now we're gonna start integrating it all. Gorgeous. Yeah, it's gonna cost me a lot of administrative power, but I'm gonna do it. We're now at 33.7 million population. And you can see now that this is also faster since we actually finished all of it. All of this is homeland of our proper folks, which, yeah, makes it very easy to incorporate it. And from there, get proper mass migration. And there's state religion. That was incredibly, incredibly fast. We now have even more... Look, just look at that. That's insane. We are getting so much out of it. And now I'm thinking... Monarchy would be a good choice entirely because it gives me authority. That is basically the sole reason for this. Sure, the intelligentsia becomes even angrier, but it's kind of who cares? We could go theocracy. Oh, now that's an interesting one. You get the same amount of authority and you're not really beholden. Yeah, okay, you know what? Theocracy. I will become a theocracy right here. Now, with this additional authority, by the way, we're going to go ahead and place down... I think in like these territories is where we want it. How do I get more? I need to get rid of... Yeah, okay, I gotta stop collecting these. It's going to be a bit odd because of how much money I'm losing now. But I want to pump up these numbers. No doubt about it, right? Like, you gotta pump up these numbers. Make me ever more attractive for migration. You've seen it yourself now. We are a hellscape. Nobody that comes here will actually be able to become a proper citizen. Look at that. Yet, they are all coming on over. And we can actually see an even better type thing here. There it is, potential targets, right? All of this, wow. These are amazing potential targets. None of these are integrated, but look at these numbers. 138, 140. Once they are incorporated, they will be amazing mass migration attraction targets. And you can see it here as well. These are currently the ones that we have integrated. There are like 10 more that have higher values that are not yet incorporated. We will swim in migration. I like that the Ottomans die, but southern Serbia is just so upsetting. And they're not even Serb, right? They're Turkish. It's so funny. That is a true comedy right there. It really looks like we're getting theocracy. Nothing wrong with that. As long as we got the guy that can actually push us there, I'm happy. Let us double check this again, right? We were at, I think, 16%. We're now at 25%. And only 1,358,000 are able to rise up because they are European and Protestant. Those are the ones that go up higher. The rest, stagnant. They are not going anywhere. 9 million people stuck in violent hostility. And they are only becoming more. This is what I'm talking about. You can literally track how they're coming in by the tens of thousands every tick. There's 2 weeks about between 100,000 people making it into the United States of America. That is really good. And there he is. Victor Emmett is now the leader of the Republic. And once we become a theocracy, I'm pretty sure he's going to become our patriarch, our pope, whatever you want to call it. All that matters is that we will be a hellscape with even more authority from which I can source greener grass campaigns. And there it is. Theocracy. The United Synods of America. Primate Victor Emmett. So it's primate. Good to know. He is the top ape. I can tell you that much, and I think we might even go towards tenant farmers. See, what I'm thinking here is, we are largely driven by aristocracy because we haven't built any buildings. Sure, some capitalists have, but mostly driven by the aristocracy because everybody's in subsistence farms. And now they're going to be incredibly discriminated against, which means aristocrats make even more money, which means we want to do agrarianism. Because via agrarianism, aristocrats give a lot more into the investment pool. Whether this really makes sense, whether this like actually pans out that way, I got no idea, but we're gonna find out. And I think after that, we're gonna get rid of the Homesteading Act. We're gonna go with tenant farmers, we're gonna make sure that there's a ton of aristocrats holding land, and then we should be golden. All right, and now you can actually see this in action. Do you see how bureaucracy rises here? How the cost is completely outpacing us? The reason for this, very, very simply put, is that we are growing so rapidly that we would have to basically finish an additional level of administrative governance like every 8 weeks maybe. Otherwise, we're going to get outpaced. Not just that, but it also, of course, directly impacts, and let me open that correctly here, our actual taxability. We just got the plus 25%. We would be underneath in Pennsylvania if we hadn't gotten that. We are going to get some tax waste here. I think I'm going to run with that. I think I don't care. We cannot outpace it. We grow far too fast. But, I mean, it is all worth it, isn't it? Just really look at that. In literally no time, we are up to 5% tax waste. It is unhinged. It is actually crazy. Completely insane. And there's agrarianism. Not sure whether this is going to impact us positively or negatively. Until now, we had like 27k. Now it's 30k. Maybe it's actually better, especially once we get rid of homesteading. But first, you know I have to do it. If I have the opportunity to do this, I have to do it. All right, now here's the interesting part. We have just unlocked anarchism. So anarchist movements are meant to be like this really explosive type of thing that you really want to keep track of because they will throw stuff at you and try to, you know, assassinate you, that kind of stuff. I am curious how, if at all, that works in our favor or against us, because this is a true hellscape that we've built here. Let me take a look at this. It's going down. Oh my god, because of my policing and home affairs institution, we're not even going to have communism. It is not happening. Do we have an anarchist? We got a labor movement, that's decent. There's the anarchist movement. They hate everything about us. Except they like national militia. That's kind of funny. But other than that, they basically hate everything about us. This is an insane law. Ethno-state makes it so that violent hostility, which we have for most, gets even worse. Right? Pops with low acceptance values face a harsh life, while pops in higher statuses prosper more. This is unhinged, and I'm not sure where it is going, but I can tell you one thing, and that is that homesteading is gone. We could do serfdom. It's so silly. No. We're doing tenant farming. Okay? Let's roll that back. How are we doing here? We are making 31k. That's not great. And they are very behind because I'm obviously like building my own stuff, blocking the queue, but we don't really need industry. We don't need any of this. Oh my god, our GDP shot up the moment I went agrarianism, I guess. That's pretty crazy. Anyway, let's see how this behaves. Everything shot up. Is this true? We're gonna have a lot more loyalists, obviously, of, you know, the approved cultures. Let's take a look at our society. 35% of our population are violent hostility. Then about like 25% in here, and then 40% full acceptance. That's pretty good. That is pretty decent for those 40%. We have to go with freedom of movement. There's no other choice. This is going to be completely and utterly disastrous for the world. Did I actually, do you think I can see this? No, they're all still growing. Actually, I mean, Britain, not really. Russia is actually, like, close to not growing at all. Oh! Russia is not growing. Tell me about Spain. How are the Spanish doing? Oh my god. They never grew because we got so much of their minorities to migrate to us. That is unhinged. I am sucking the world dry. Compare this. And I'm not even building anything. We don't have an economy. There's nothing here. Plus, I am mistreating all of them. See here. So this allows assimilation. Okay, fair enough. That's fine. I don't see anything about admin cost. I don't know. Maybe it was agrarianism? And oh no. Abe showed up. Abe Lincoln showed up to the worst United States of America imaginable. He's like, what the hell happened? He is not freeing anybody. I'm sorry, that's just, it's not happening. You know what, let me actually check this, because I know that they are impacted. So market liberal, ethno-nationalist, holy. That is because of the American supremacist movement, right? Liberal movement? Don't you have, aren't you pressured as well? They are pressured by the pro-slavery movement, but it does not seem... Oh, they're not actually getting any pressure for slavery. I suppose it's impossible for the intelligentsia, right? But they are pushed away from abolitionists. That is like what happens here, I think. We're not getting as many migration waves anymore. That's interesting. But there just aren't that many all around the world. I really do wonder what that means in this context here. Anyway, we passed tenant law, and now let me just check this, right? I think this really shot up. Am I wrong here? Wow, so we basically just, catapulted up the reinvestment pool here. And we're still getting mass migration. You know how it is. You love to see it. The next thing, we're just going to pump these numbers up, right? We're just going to prep this so that this investment pool can do some work if they want to. I don't really care where they build or what they do, yada yada yada. Oh, and there's all the migrations. Serbians, Gujarati, North German, oh boy. Prussian North Germans, huh? 21% of this state, just Prussian North Germans. Jesus. How's the election going? Very well. The Whig Party reduced to 2%. Good God. Actually even worse now. 1%. See, I've been thinking, at some point, if I have enough peasants, surely land-based taxation becomes more optimal. Obviously, that's not the case right now, but if you have a ton of peasants, that would be better than per capita tax. It really depends on how far you can take that. Let's just keep it running. We'll see where we end up here. So let's take a look at the general mass migration attraction, right? You got Ural, that's pretty good, 84, right? They get 0 mass migrations right now. Take a look at this, right? 81, 81, and those are only the ones that don't currently already have somebody going there. So if I click this right here, 102. But you can see now, a lot of people do not like this because they're losing a standard of living, because I've been demoting them, of course, from being a homestead owner, from having some rights, to where we are now. It doesn't really get any worse than this, right? Let's take a quick look at this. 35%, we're down to 39% here. I think we're assimilating them now actually relatively quickly here, which ultimately just means that, yes, unless we get way, way faster migration, we are not looking at a change to our general setup. I think those are the statistics. You can basically lock them in. We can also take a look at an awful stat. Take a look at this right here. These are the amount of slaves. We are on slave trade, don't forget. See, we are now seeing turmoil here already. This is a very, very discriminated... I mean... it's so insane. Yeah, they're very discriminated here. At least they are now financing me here, right? That's really good. I'm gonna pump in a lot, so maybe we can make it happen. Pump it into Missouri, California, Tennessee. Just look at Britain. That is saddening. They constantly migrate over here. And they just completely get eviscerated. That's wild. That's insane. See, I'm looking at this now. This is so stupid, and I think I'm still gonna do it. We're gonna go for land-based taxation, because that will hammer down on the peasants and not on the aristocracy. No income tax rate, or actually halved income tax rate, and no per capita tax. I will lose taxes, but I think, maybe, surely, we'll be okay. I'm gonna do it. Sometimes you have to be a bit crazy, I guess. Oh, and somebody wrote the Communist Manifesto. I think we should have Karl Marx up here. Is he here? Can I speak to him? Is he okay? He is! Okay, wait a minute. How do I turn you racist? I will never get them to actually even be above 5% just because we have such an absurd set of laws. Everywhere else, the trade unions now easily get across that threshold. Look at that, even in Britain. Here, it's not happening. I think I will literally just let this run for a moment. I think we're golden. I don't think anything can harm us. We're on land-based taxation, which is utterly unhinged, but we're doing all right. Everything is stable, and the people that are getting less and less stable, well, obviously they are being suppressed properly. Welcome Korea, by the way. That's nice. We're looking at a good situation. We're just going to let this run. We're going to see where we end up. If somebody declares war against me, so be it. And all of a sudden, it is the year 1914, and we are looking at an interesting world map, and most importantly, of course, at an interesting United States of America. Let's first of all take a look at the Kingdom of Heaven, at Romania having Bulgaria as a vassal. Southern Serbia has joined Russia. It's a wild world out there. And of course, last but not least, whatever the hell this is also does exist. But anyway, back to us, a lot of interesting things have happened, and well, the exploitation basically has occurred exactly the way I thought it would. Take a look at this. We are now at 32% of pops that are under violent hostility in our country, and they are basically unable to upgrade because we are, of course, on ethno-nationalism. That means 46 million people are on that level of discrimination. Only 60 million are fully accepted, and you can see here the rest is lingering somewhere between cultural erasure and second-class citizen. Now, some of the other really interesting stats are actually the fact I didn't build any economic buildings, and you can see that most of our economy does not come from where the migration went, but we can see where it went literally just by the overview of the population. You see this very rarely, and of course in real life that did not happen, but since everybody migrated to the states that had the decree on it, and of course last but not least had a ton of arable land, yeah, the United States of America here are essentially a Jeffersonian build where everybody lives rurally in their own community and owes taxes to their local landlord. Now I think growth-wise, obviously we are far from optimal. I think the only optimal thing that I would have changed here is, instead of just letting the arable land fill in, it is now literally filled in here. I should have built some urbanizing, non-arable land using type of buildings so that this stays empty much more and much more often, and we probably could have absorbed even more people. But I wanted to be very hands-off just to see how it develops naturally. And yeah, the truth is, everybody wants to be on a subsistence farm in Kansas, making no money and being completely discriminated. I mean, look at this. We are paying them quite literally nothing because of the discrimination. This is an incredible number. If you want to do a playthrough like this, I would recommend doing it soon because they are surely going to patch it out relatively quickly. Alright, but as you can see, this is the most oppressive playstyle that you can do. We win, you lose, and everybody still loved coming here. You can even see this if you take a look at the culture overview. What happened was that Yankee never made it to these states, which meant nobody could assimilate into it, and that of course then meant that we had other local cultures that they assimilated into. They tried to go for whatever is the most accepted one, so you can see right here that many people turned to Scottish because they are very often second-class citizens, even though they couldn't turn to Dixie or Yankee right here. In the end, all of this is manageable, and like I said, people never stop coming. Yeah, they want to get absolutely beaten up under violent hostility. They just love showing up right here. They're gonna fix it soon, I think, but hey, for the time being, enjoy it, and I will see you later, alligator.